Start. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the NSL Weekly Podcast. This is our first one. Was hoping it would probably be under a little bit better circumstances. Maybe we could talk about games and stuff, but we're not going to talk about that because there's a lot of shit going down in the league right now, and we need to get shit straight. The first thing first. Let's start by this. I want to say this: if you're not about sim over win, just drop the league right now. Let me know. Send me a message. Tell me you don't want to be a part of this league anymore. This isn't for you. There's plenty of other leagues out there that don't care about how you win Super Bowls. Even if you want a mediocre sim league, there's plenty of leagues like that who don't care what plays you call as long as you do things kind of okay. We're all about sim over win, and that is at all costs. I don't know how to say that and explain that anymore. If it's third down and you know this play is going to work because you've done it 3 times in the game on third down already, and you call that play again, that's not sim because it's a money play at that point. You know it's going to work. Stop calling plays you know it's going to work every third down. Try a couple new plays out. My goal when I'm running a team is to not run the same offensive play twice ever in a game. And I know sometimes NFL teams do run it 2 times a game, but I've seen some of you guys run the same play 5 or 6 times a game. Now, yeah, obviously things like screens and runs make that a little bit weird, but I don't even run it's out a different formation if I have to run a different halfback screen. Sometimes it's a different type of screen. You know, change up your plays, offense and defensively. And I don't know how to say this anymore. I'm not gonna babysit you guys. As you can see, people are getting booted out of the league left and right. Uh, and I'm going to go into detail why they got booted out to explain why you guys you don't have if you're playing your game right, you don't have to fear anything. But if you guys are teetering the line and you're playing these games and you're like I'm sim enough, I'm just going to let you go. And as you can see, I have no qualms letting you go. There's a league full of people ready to be called up. I don't have time to play these games with you people. Uh, I'll let Jug is a founding member of this league. He was one of the first 2 people when I decided to start NSL from Clutch. I don't know how many of you remember that, but he was one of the first 2 people I went to asking if he wanted to get on board because he had the same views I did. I want to have him explain why we're in this league. Go ahead, Joe.
Man, we're in here for just a real experience, man, to play this game, not as a video game. You guys come in here and we'll see the same inside run, inside zones, or, full verse a million times. That's not what we're here to do. That's for mutt. Take that shit over there. We can play this game and we can play it fair and we can play it fun by just, using different things, trying to use concepts, try to out scheme each other. Try that one time. Try to out scheme the next person. It's not that I'm saying I'm the greatest schemer, but if I look at you and I see what you're doing and I can counter it, then we're gonna go back and forth. If you got something else, we're gonna play some chess. Guys don't come in here trying to play, a ranked match with me. Let's do something different, man. You know what I'm saying? Sim over win, man. I'll lose a game if I don't have to. If you think I'm gonna run cover two, three downs in a row just to stop that same play that I know you're gonna run, no, I'll run man, and I'll try to stop you that way, even if I know it's coming. You guys got to really look at it like this. It's not a league that we're in here just to try to win over everything. I understand winning is fun. Winning is fun. But if you actually win by playing sim, then dude, it's even funner. Hey, I can end up 8-8 every year and have a good time, and not blow my load on freaking the same plays over and over again and be complaining, and trying to cheat and some bullshit. We don't do that here. We don't do that here.
I
If you want to
lost.
do that, get out.
I've
Go
lost a
ahead.
lot of games to Ashton last year before he got tired of Madden because he has the same issues as Madden I do. But beside the point, I lost a lot of games to Ashton. And I can say every game that I lost to Ashton, I enjoyed. I like you get away from that game and you got that L, but you know what? You earned that L. And when you earn that L because a dude out called you, out game planned you, it feels good. It sucks, but it feels a lot better than feeling like, man, I just got out stick skilled, and he knows how to build these rosters where only cheese player. That's bullshit. Nobody wants to lose to that guy because you're not getting outsmarted by that guy. You're just getting out video gamed. Fuck that. Play to outsmart people. Rabbit, what you got to say, man?
Yeah, I mean that from the beginning, I was looking for something that was, what you see on Sunday, If I wanted to play lobby ball where people try to run up the score or do the same plays over and over again, that's where I'd be. And that what's almost drove me away from Madden. And I'm happy that I found something like this. And July and I put a lot of time into this. The admins that help out. It's sometimes it just feels like I don't want to have to come to do this as a hobby. I don't want this to happen to my hobby. We want to get off work and go play a game and have fun, and that's what it's about. It's like Jack said, it's a chess match. It's not who has the best play, who's been looking on YouTube. Oh, I found this cool defense that you can run and all the time. But and then I think for the most part, a lot of the folks that's what they want as well. So like July said, if you don't like that concept or you
Are we
don't like
losing?
the rules, then let us know. It's not going to be any hard
I'm gonna
feelings.
I'm gonna say this right now. If you have looked on YouTube for plays or anywhere for plays for money plays, this isn't the league for you. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And I know we're doing the thing with the drafting this year, but if you have to go use an outside source to draft, this probably isn't the league for you. And I'm just saying that right now. We can't prevent it. There's no way to prevent it, which is why we're giving everybody the information. But if you have to go out and use that instead of just scouting and doing it the right way, this isn't the league for you. If that's what you're about is winning at all costs, this isn't the league for you. Um, so
I
just like
mean,
Rabbit said,
them internet man, get them out of here. Like you guys got to understand, if you're running some bullshit glitchy play that's never going to be covered by anything, and we all can see it, we're going to tell, man. Just think about it real quick. I got to play you for up to an hour, and I see that same bullshit scoring on me every time or getting a first down every time. It's probably not gonna be hard for me to really like look into that. I'll probably just Google it and there we go. It'll probably be right there. So, you guys can really just take a second and say, you know what, if it's worth winning that much, take those plays over to Mud. You're all good. You're building a team there too. You're all good. Do that over there. Keep the fun sim shit over here. Y'all can keep that other
I'm
shit over
trying to be
there.
mad, dog. Trying to be mad. Trying to be mad and angry. Leave me alone. Go away.
Yeah,
Um,
and for the most part,
exactly.
I haven't seen a lot of people running the cheesy plays, so I mean that's a good thing. But it's just still, what would you see on Sunday? And if you have to ask yourself that question, you probably shouldn't do what you're thinking about. So just keeping it sim and keeping it a fun time and a fun game. So
I've seen a lot of people asking I've seen people asking in the chat what our fourth down rule is. If you have to ask, this isn't the league for you. I'm just being honest. There is no rule. We purposely left out that rule because there shouldn't need to be a rule. If you're that's the simplest sim thing you can do is know when you can go for it on fourth down because there is no rules. It's all right. Real life situation. I probably can't punt this within. It's going to be a 10 yard 15-yard punt, but I can't make this field goal. Yeah, I'm going to go for it. Or I'm down 7 and he's been stopping me all game. I got to go. You could feel the situation when a head coach would go for it. But you're asking for, hey, when can I go for it? Why are you asking that? That's stupid. If you don't know that, you're not built for this league. Be honest. I mean, point blank. If you don't know when you should be going for it on fourth down or when it's okay or you're in the wrong league. All right, let's go
Yeah,
to why. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was agreeing. Just go ahead.
No, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and we had 3 people get booted this week, which is a league high. We haven't had that. I wasn't thinking we could do that in the first 2 weeks of our fucking league starting. Uh, that definitely did not. That does not make me happy. One of them was a vet. Carson has been a member of NSL since the very first year it was here. Now I think we recruited him that year, so I'm not sure he started when NSL did, but he's been here since the beginning. That
I think
beginning
I
first
think
year.
Carson was here day one because he was the Bengals. The first he was the Bengals the first ever game as the
Well, there
Bengals.
we go. Day one. And Carson and Pest, what happened was Pest was beating Carson pretty badly. Uh, Carson sent him a message asking if they could just exit the game because Andy Dalton was hurt. Pest said he didn't care. That's cheating. That right there is you wanting to win over being sim. Yeah, Pest was already on the line because of some questionable stuff last year, so he's out. That's it for him. Carson was gone automatically as soon as he did that. You try some shit like that, you're gone. I mean, let me find proof of it. You're just gone. There's really no place in this. There's a lot of things we can kind of look past, but cheating is not it. If you, I don't know if you remember last year we had a dude use a custom playbook and tried to lie about it. He got caught, and guess what? He got gone that game. Cheating at NSL in that sort of way, I don't care. We're just gonna let you go, man. I don't have time. If you get caught cheating, you might as well roster drop because I'm letting you go. I mean, as soon as I can.
So not really. Don't
Yeah.
roster drop.
Don't
I'm
watch.
not
No,
saying. I'm just
I
saying.
don't want to see that Aaron Rodgers again.
I know. I'm just saying. We can fix it if you do. We don't care. I don't give a fuck.
Fuck it, bro.
I'll take the time. Point being, they cheated. They're gone. Um, Joe, do you have anything to say about cheating?
Man, let's just be real. Any man can get it. Okay? Fuck. We had an admin do some shady shit year one. Okay? Year one. He was in on the talks when we first started this shit. What'd he do? He did some shady shit and he was gone. There was, I mean, it felt like we even pulled the trigger fast on him. It was so quick. And and he's never, he's never forgave me for it. But I was like, bro, you had to go.
Yeah,
There's no room for cheating. We talked about it when we made this thing. He was like, but it was a 1, 2 time thing. I'm like, we got video of you doing it 2, 3, 4, 5 times in one game. It's not being selective. You can't just get it over just because it's your friend. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's my friend. He won't tell me. No, fuck that. Don't do it ever. Let's just keep it cool. Let's keep it real sim here. I mean, year one that happened, we had another dude leave. Okay, you already talked about him with the custom playbook. He thought he was gonna get over it. You're not
he
getting over.
tried.
You're not getting
He
over it.
tried.
We already know. Okay. So guys, let's just keep it real. Let's play the game as a game, and try to play like we see it on Sunday, man. I understand some coaches they'll dive 3, 4, 5 times in a row. Yeah, but that's not here right now. Okay, they're not dealing with AI. All right, we're dealing with AI. All right,
Yeah.
they're dealing with big brutes that might be a little crazy, but we're dealing with the artificial intelligence that can be tricked and manipulated in so many different ways. Let's just play the game, man. Let's make it fun. All right.
Yep. I agree. Rabbit, your thoughts on what happened or cheating in general?
Yeah, it's going to be zero tolerance, and you know, don't go along with it. Had Pest said, "Nah, I'm good, man. Let's finish this out," then we may have never even heard wind of it, and they might still be here today.
Even
But the fact that
even had Pest said, "All right, man, whatever," but then told me about it. If you go along with it and then tell me about it, that way, because you don't want to be the bad guy. As long as you're letting me know and let me handle things, I'm cool with that. I'm okay with being the bad guy. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
yeah, but it's zero tolerance. Again, we're here to have fun. We're not here to try to escape injuries or anything like that. Just get in and play your game and have fun at it. And if you get beat, oh well. I mean, that's life. But like Jug said, if you're having fun and maybe you lost, or maybe hell, I lost 36-3 in ASL the other day, but the dude Rams was sim as heck, and had a good. He out schemed me the whole game, and I threw dumb picks. So, but at the end of the time, I'm not going to go and pout or raise hell or anything like that. It's just take the L and try to get better, and have fun doing it. Go and practice.
Hell, everybody could get better, man. I mean, my batting skills have deteriorated since I've gotten older, but I'm okay with that because a lot of that's because I don't do mutts type stuff. I used to do tourney. It was called tourney ball back in my day, but I
Hey,
don't do
bud.
tourney ball anymore because I got tired of it. It's like you tourney ball. You come in there with a perfect scheme and you run these plays, and then somebody would find one fucking play and just run it the whole game. And the hardest thing would be just trying to fucking stop that one play. So that's why I didn't want to do tourney ball anymore. But anyways, that was 2 people booted for cheating. Don't go along with it. Don't be a part of it. And when I ask you about it, don't lie to me. Don't say, "Hey, there were no injuries," because they both told me that, and that was a lie for both of them.
Yeah.
In all due
Because
respect to the guys, I love those guys. They were cool dudes. Sucks that they had to fuck up. But I'll be real with y'all. We're grown ass men. Ain't none of us little kids. Okay,
Except Waka.
well, that's my man Walker. Look, none of us is that little where we gotta lie. Hide shit. My son is in the other room, and if he lied to me, I'm gonna fuck him up too. So just think about it. You ain't got to do all that. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be real, be straight up like men. All right.
Yep, I agree. All right, the second instance, and this was another clusterfuck. One of our new members, Acorn, played one of our other new members. What's his name? Al.
Alpha Hill played
Toward the
West
end.
Coast King.
There you go. And Alpha felt slighted at the end of the game because West Coast King ran up 17 with a minute to go, started past the ball, and scored a touchdown. I ain't got to tell you all about running up the score. If you run up the score, you're gonna get, you're gonna get somebody suspended, and that's not any of this 3-game shit. I'm probably just gonna suspend your player for the year this year because this should be something. Come on, nipped in the butt. You guys, you gotta be on top of this. Seriously, running up the score still. I know you're not all y'all are Bill Belichick, and don't give me that BS about Bill Belichick doing it because you're not Bill Belichick. If BM wants to do it, let him do it. He's not going to. He can't. But he's the only one that could even slightly say that that's what he wants to do. Stop running up the score. I mean, you got the game in hand. Nobody wants another 2 scores against them when they're already down 17. Nobody wants to lose by 24 when you easily have the game in hand. That being said, if you have a problem, please come to me, Rabbit. Hell, you can go to Jug. Jug can also handle problems. If you don't feel like talking to the admins because we're getting kind of scary because we're booting a lot of people, go to Jug. Jug is going to be a perfect buffer between me and you. But Jug will make sure that if you have a problem, it'll get taken care of if you don't feel comfortable coming to me or Rabbit. That being said, you should, because if you have video evidence, if you have proof, and you got a good argument, I'm going to be on your side. Now, West Coast, that wasn't his only violation. He also played the game the previous week where 8 out of 11 of his completions were to screens, as well as some other violations of gameplay, which were also recorded. So he had 2 weeks in a row of recorded instances. That's why he had to go. 2 weeks in a row is too much, along with going in the chat and trying to start shit, which I've said from the beginning. You don't do. You have an issue, you stay out of chat. He went into chat with it. That was the final strike. So he's gone. Don't go to chat with this bullshit and trying to start shit. Just don't. If you do, I have less tolerance. I'm gonna have so little tolerance for people going into chat talking about other people this year. Because if you have an issue with your game, me or Rabbit will take care of it. Especially if you have proof. If you feel like you have to defend yourself to me and Rabbit. We're the only two that matter. Nobody else is going to boot you. So, all right, Joe, we'll go Rabbit first. Rabbit, what are your thoughts on that situation? I know you pretty much know exactly what happened there. You got the whole gist of it.
Yeah, and it just sucks because it was also Alpha's first game, and he thought that was the way, and he thought that the other dude was a vet, and he wasn't necessarily, and shouldn't have assumed that. But he thought that was the way the NSL was, and we told him that that's not sim over win. You got to know that's not us. So both of them, he knows that he could have handled it a little bit better, and just bring it to us, and don't be afraid. We're going to coach. If you need coaching on something, we're going to coach you on it. And if you don't do it again, you're going to be fine, as long as it's nothing egregious. So it's just, don't be afraid, to talk it out first between you and your opponent. And if you don't get anywhere with that, then that's when you come to us. And video evidence, we got to have that, because it's not going to be he said, she said, either video or stats. So, and like July said, we'll be on your side. We'll see. So you're right. It sucks that happened. West Coast have been pretty good to this point, outside of what we've heard the past 2 weeks, but we're not going to. We got plenty of people in ASL, and I got plenty of people wherever else I can find them to put it in ASL that would be more than willing to come up and be in the NSL and what it is. So just bring it to us.
Yep. Jug, you've handled a lot of disputes in the past. What are your thoughts on this? I know you've
Yeah,
you
man.
there, Jug?
I once was the complaint department. I used to like everybody just coming to me because I felt that I can get all the information and present it to all the other admins at the time, and we could just we could hash it out the right way. Um, you know, don't ever assume here. If you got a guy that you're playing and he's doing some shady, and you don't want to be a rat or none of that, you just come to me. We can talk it through. Figure it out. And don't assume that somebody's a vet or someone's untouchable that you're playing. Okay, anybody can get called out on anything. Okay, I had a guy call me
What?
out. I did a dive. I did a dive third quarter, and I was up 17. That went to the house, right? And he was like, "Are you trying to run it up on me, John?" I said, "Nah, I'm not trying to run it up on you." But it's the third quarter. My dude got loose. Cool. And I played him fair. I played him straight. And what
Yeah.
what I what I'll be honest with you with is he didn't really have much game. So I did have to pull the reins back a little bit. Show a little mercy. And hey, I don't think that's for everybody, but we can all do it. And guys, communication is
And
key.
with injuries the way they are, and we're gonna bump them until they're where I want to be because they're still a little low, I think. Because I see half the league without an injury through 3 weeks, and that's not gonna work. But when we get injuries
Everyone.
where they want to be, you're gonna want to pull your starters, unless you want to lose that starter in garbage time. Because you know what? When I've been playing, I've seen most injuries happen in garbage time in this Madden. I don't know why. Ask well, I'd say who'd I play? The Rams owner, he lost two of his players in garbage time. Now he was down, he kept his starters in, but both of them went down in garbage time. He could have came back, but
Right. And if you're up 3 touchdowns and it's halfway through the fourth, or pull your starters. If you're, I mean, I've had two people come to me and say, "Well, I didn't want my running back to get hurt, so I was throwing it up 3 scores because he kept blitzing." Well, what do you think is going to happen in a real NFL game? That the defense is going to blitz, and the other team that's up so much is going to run it out, and either get a first down running or punt. And even if they do, in this case, Alpha was calling timeouts to stop them. Down 3 scores or 17, 19, 18 points, whatever it was. Fine, you want to throw a pass to get the first down? Great. Fall down. Don't run it into the end zone.
just get the first down, run out the clock, man. And again, I know we say sim and some stuff, but we have sportsmanship too here. Okay, guys, these are real people, real lives. We got to do shit. Don't be a dick. The don't be a dick rule. And we know you could run up the score. We know there's some people in this league that could score 60 points a game if they wanted to, while holding opponents to 5, 10. Don't do, well, why? What's the point of that?
Right. And then I told Alpha that, he deserved a coaching because, hey, don't call timeouts when you're down 3 scores with a minute to go. And that would have been fine if they came to that with us. And, he was afraid that, he was going to get called out for the timeouts. I'm like, yeah, that's a coaching. And you don't do it again, you're fine. That's what it's all about. You do something, we're going to coach you on it. And, if you take that feedback and apply it to your game, ask July, my first game as the Cowboys, I lit them up with a rookie tight end. And so then, I abused the tight end. And then, that was a feedback he gave to me. And, I evened out
I
my
don't even
game. That's
talk
what
about
it's the
that game.
feedback's about. But that's what the
Talk about
feedback's
that
about.
game.
That
That
feedback's
tight end
about,
lit.
taking that feedback
Tight
and
end lit me
applying
up.
it to your game to be a better sim player. That's all. Like I said, if you don't do something stupid and really bad, that's all it's going to be.
I just want to say I traded for Gronk one season, and that tight end that Rabbit had
Was way
outplayed
better
Gronk
than him.
easily. Yeah,
Yeah,
that dude
Rabbit
was a
went to
monster.
the playoffs uh, with that tight end. I remember that tight end. Fuck that tight end.
I don't even want to
Yeah,
talk about that
and
tight
and
end.
then
Yeah,
I
that shit
and
was
then I had
ridiculous.
I had David Johnson traded to me too. I was going to kill it, but then Brandy deleted our league. So
Yeah, damn Brandy. Just all right. So that's enough doom and gloom. Let me sorry, I got a cold. Let me restate. Sim over win. Think about that when you're playing your games. Think about that when you see what your opponent's doing. Think about that when you're calling plays. Am I being sim? Is they being sim? Is this a fun game? You know, or am I seeing the same thing every third down? Think about that when you're playing. And try and adjust it. And if you have issues, come to us. that's really all I have to say about that. Nothing else. Rabbit or Jug, you have anything you want to say before we move on to the? I'm going to talk about the sliders real quick, so we will actually go into something league oriented this week.
I think we
Man,
said it enough.
yeah, I think we said
Okay.
we're good.
Okay. All right, guys. I'm sorry. Just to reiterate, I'm not playing this year. I just don't care enough to hold people's hands. So stiff penalties this year, and so just be right. Just to let you guys know about sliders, though. I know we have never in the past touched sliders. Um, but I feel like in the interest of the entirety of the league being having more interceptions than touchdowns, except for, and Coach pointed this out, he had four touchdowns and three interceptions. He was the single best quarterback in our league, apparently. And some ridiculously high rushing numbers in these first couple weeks. I think we had 6 200-yard rushers week 1 and 5 week 2. So kind of got to tone that down a bit. We decided we're going to try to attempt these gameplay sliders and try and get things more kosher, more even and balanced out. So just want to let you guys, some of the things we have adjusted is the pass defense reaction time. We booted down 10 on both because the reaction times, well, just know everything we did for CPU and player. But the reaction time is insane. I've seen corners breaking on balls before receivers multiple times.
Do we
I
go
don't
10 or do
understand
we
why
go 5?
Madden even. It went 10. It went down to 40 for that. I did that week 1 just because I saw what was happening. So I think I forgot to tell you about that one, Rabbit. I'm sorry. Interceptions, we put down 5 to 45, and I saw a noticeable difference. There were some drop passes last week, and some interceptions that should have been caught. But our numbers are getting closer, and not the reason that defenders are defenders is because they can't catch. I don't know how many dropped easy interceptions I've seen in the NFL. Just guys hitting them in the hands. It happens. There's a reason they're not wide receivers. We also added tackling up 5 this week to help bring down these fucking halfbacks that are just breaking 3 or 4 tackles and taking it to the house, which I feel is a lot of these 200-yard games, in my opinion. I mean, the run blocking is better this year, but these running backs are insane. The only other one I think we might look at is pass coverage. I don't know what that does, what the difference between that and pass defense reaction time is, because it seems like a lot of people that are having success aren't throwing the ball farther than 5 yards. They're just keeping it short, which we do want to allow you to have some sort of deep passing game if you want it, and minus money plays. And I don't know how many of you have seen this, but you could pick a play that you know should be able to beat a coverage. For instance, a post route against cover 2 or a streaks against cover 3, 4-man streaks. Something that you should know should beat this coverage, and you're getting picked off. That's just not the way it's supposed to be. It's a little bit better on All Pro. We're going to try and fix it on All Madden first before we even talk about going to All Pro, because I feel like the pass defense is just about perfect on All Pro, but the run offense is just even more powered. So, Rabbit, what are your thoughts on these sliders and why we changed them? And you helped do them a little bit.
Yep. And I think I've seen a little bit of difference. Of course, everybody wants to think that it's the defense, but you also got to go back and replay the play in your head and like, did I do that? I love how everybody's like, I'm going to trade my quarterback. He threw 6 interceptions. Like, well, I mean, technically he threw them, but because I'm the king of bad passes, but I think that it's going to help. And we're going to give it a couple weeks, and if we see things start to normalize, great. If we still see that it needs a little bit more tinkering with, we're going to push it and see if we can't reach that happy balance.
I agree. People do throw bad interceptions, but some of that, in my opinion, is also that you just have nobody open. And it's like, what do? They panic, and it's just, and sometimes you throw it away, but you see 3 or 4 plays in a row that just nobody's open. It's like, come on, get open.
Yeah.
Jug, what are your thoughts on the gameplay this year and those sliders? I know.
I mean, yeah, I mean, for NSL, I believe because every league has so many different sliders, and everyone's really searching for those perfect sliders, and it's really tough. I believe that knocking the running down, just that'll help us out huge because there's a lot of guys. I mean, that are just getting. I mean, my defensive tackle hit him, my safety will hit him, my middle linebacker hit him, and he'll still get a touchdown. And you're just like, are you kidding me right now? Um, and these are clean hits. It's not like they're just like brush
Yeah.
hits. I know for sure I victimized some people with Christian McCaffrey. He's like 200 pounds maybe. And fuck, man, I'm out here breaking everybody's tackles with him. I mean, he is injured for the next few weeks, but that's my fault for running him too much. But yeah, dude, it's just like I mean, if everyone's breaking tackles, if Tavon Austin is just breaking Cam Chancellor shit, then we gotta we gotta tone up some tackles, man. Something gotta be changed, baby. But I like the idea
So
we're going with.
yeah, so just so everybody knows, we are looking at games. We're trying to make this a good experience on the field, physics wise. Also, like I said, we saw some slight improvements this week. Hopefully it'll balance out, like Rabbit said, and we'll get a good, nice little. I think we're close. I really do. I don't think we're that far off. I think the passing zones might still be a little insane, but other than that, I don't think there's any issues. I think the running was much better this week, personally, and I rushed for more this week than I have the last two games. But I also was able to not allow a guy. Le'Veon last week broke quite a few tackles. He ran over Eric Kendricks, which was disappointing to say the least. And he's, Le'Veon's a good 190-pound running back himself, so Le'Veon's a good running back, but he's not trucking Eric Kendricks. That's all I'm saying. So that's about all I got, man. Hopefully next week we have a much chiller, going back to talking about some actual gameplay stuff podcasts. We do want to get a live game done next week where I'm announcing, hopefully. So look forward to that, guys. And other than that, I ain't got nothing else. Jug or Rabbit, you got anything you want to say before we leave?
Guys, don't take it personal, but just don't be a bitch. I'm down. I'm down to talk to anybody if they want to. We just can't play like no punks, man. We got to play the game right. Respect each other. Let's show each other some love, man. If you guys aren't watching this podcast and you do some stuff and you say I was never told, well, you should have watched the podcast. You should have tuned in. Not our fault.
That, and they were told multiple times. This is this is not the first time we've said any of this. This is the 100th time we said this. I'm just letting people know the punishments go up from here. I'm tired of it. We got a whole league of people just gonna go. It's gonna be more. Just gonna bring them in. Eventually, we'll find people that are good. I don't know if you remember this, Joe, but we used to have almost everybody in the league on like not first name basis, but everybody was friends. This is when it
Yeah,
first started. We've lost a lot of those people since then because of time and people are getting older or this and this. But we used to have a sense of family, and that's what I want to get back to. A sense like, hey, these people are my boys, man. Like, your wife comes home and like, what you doing? Like, I'm chilling with the boys, and that was true because you were chilling with people that you knew and that you had fun playing games with.
yeah.
Yep.
So I want to get back to that.
Yep. Yeah,
So we'll
just a
find
couple.
30. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll find. We'll get the people in. I think ASL has been a great thing for NSL to have this pool of folks that are hungry, and that's what they want to do, and that's get to that sin before win mindset. But just a couple of reminders to throw out there. It's time to re-sign players and keep it at 5 years, and then also scheduling games. An unplayed game is an unplayed game. If you haven't cleared it with an admin, we got 3 strikes a year. Get those in. I understand that people's schedules sometimes don't mesh. Come to us with those situations, but it is what it is. And if you don't reach out until the day of advance and you don't get it in, I don't care if the other person doesn't respond back. We'll have to handle that as well. But that's going to be a strike against both of you. So.
By the way, yeah, I've heard ASL had some sim games recently. Yeah, that's not going to get you called up. Uh, it- play your games. Like that's the bare minimum that we're requiring to get called up is to play your games. If y'all not doing that, I'm just looking at you like, why would I ever call you up? You're gonna sit in ASL purgatory for life if you don't. Actually, you probably won't, because once we realize that we're never gonna call you up, we're just gonna let you go from ASL, which happened the end of last year, beginning of this year. Play your games, guys. Come on. You wanted to be in the league. Play your games. How many
Yeah.
sims did you have last week?
I
3?
mean, I think it was 2 or 3, and I understand. I can only play one night, and that's your defense. Is that I only could play Monday night, and I gave him plenty of time to do that. But then what about Tuesday night and Wednesday? You weren't available either, so we can't hold it against the other person just because they
Yeah.
couldn't match your schedule. So, and it's just one.
Yeah.
If that happens, it happens. It's one strike. But if that happens 3 times a year, then maybe you don't have the time or whatever, the schedule to play what we need. So
All right, that's very true. All right, guys. I think that's it. It's been a good podcast. Don't mean to scare anybody, but penalties are going up, just straight up. And nobody's gonna stop. Nobody's gonna come to your defense. Nobody's gonna help you or save you. Me, Rabbit are on the same page. Jug, you can ask Jug. Jug's gonna probably agree with us too. Uh, Jug, a lot of the league trusts me to make the right choice. Getting the riffraff out of NSL, which we allowed in there, and I felt like maybe partly my fault last year, letting things slide because I was busy with my potential job. I gotta correct that mistake, and I will at any cost this year. I'm not here to make friends. I mean, I am, but if you don't want to do the right thing, I'll make enemies too. I don't care. It is what it is. All right, guys, that's all I have, and I'll see you next week, hopefully with a better podcast. All right.
deuces.
Peace.
All right. Peace.